Kayfabe was a way to show respect to the audience and respect your own business. It was a way to protect it.
But to be the man, you gotta beat the man. And I'm saying, we are the generation that you make your rules, and we will break them. Give the people what they want.
Ladies and gentlemen, heels and faces, casual wrestling fans, and all you smart marks, I am Mr. Richie Moon.
And I'm Kayfabe AJ.
And this is the Kayfabe Livecast.
The podcast.
Or is the Kayfabe Podcast.
Or is the Livecast that's a podcast. You know what, thinking about it, we are a livecast because we do it live and we don't edit. But it's a podcast.
It is.
So,
and we actually do have a livecast coming soon. So
Livecast podcast.
So when you ask us, is it the Kayfabe Podcast? Just remember, it might be the livecast. So you don't know.
Well, join us today. You should know where we at by now.
Exactly.
We're running it down for you.
Well, it's down at the end of Jabroni Drive.
As usual. So we missed last week, so we're kicking it off with
This week in wrestling.
Yeah, this week in wrestling. Ding ding ding. We need like a bell to like
So,
start it off. We need something to start.
Yeah,
off.
we definitely
we just jump into it. Like just
yeah,
splash,
definitely.
Splash, right.
But this week in wrestling kind of spilled over in our last podcast.
So we were recording during Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, it was recorded during the
Roman Reigns
week we're covering now.
Yeah.
And the Roman Reigns situation happened. It kind of threw our whole schedule.
And I just wanted to say, during the Roman Reigns episode, my eyes were just sweating.
I think everybody's eyes were sweating that day.
I wasn't crying. My eyes were just sweating. I have allergies that just pop up once every...
Yeah, so we're going to recap, just a little bit of that week with Roman Reigns and SmackDown following, recap through this week. And so it starts off with
Bobby
the
Lashley.
Roman. Yeah. Starts off with the Roman Reigns speech, which has been a recurring theme through all the shows since then.
Which is a good thing because this is a time to talk about leukemia and other things.
It's funny. Healthcare in wrestling has been a big topic recently, and this. I think the Elite is one of the groups that are fighting for healthcare wrestling. Like, seriously.
Yeah, seriously.
Not in the joke of being the Elite, but they're seriously fighting for healthcare wrestling, and I think it's needed. They're independent contractors, I get it, but at least have the basic healthcare,
Yeah, I mean, but one thing I will say about
multi-billion-dollar company
about the WWE is that when you do get hurt, they do pay for
the surgery. As far as surgery, you're going to the best surgeon in America.
Everything, all that. But
yeah, they do take care of you, but also there shouldn't be people that don't have access to like medicines and basic forms of healthcare, vision, dental,
absolutely,
all that. Like if Mick Foley wanted a new tooth, he should have been able to get that from WWF.
That's
so. To continue the Roman Reigns.
After Roman Reigns came out, it was Bobby Lashley versus Finn Balor, and my man, Bobby Lashley, was out there doing his thing like he always does, okay? He looks like money. He walks like money. You know it, and I know it, okay? He looks like money, okay? He talks like money, okay? He walks like money, okay?
I was saying a few weeks ago before this Leo Rush situation came, I was low on Lashley. I said it. He was just Wayne Brady in it too much. Wayne Brady face with the smiles. It's not working. This Leo Rush thing has been just phenomenal. It's boosted. Lashley is finally this is the dominator.
I love that the arrogant, he just comes out and just flexes muscles because he can. Look at him. Are you kidding me? I'm flexing my muscles right now. Podcast listeners. It's just like he just comes out and just boom. Like, you can't deny it. Just like, damn.
And
you know what I'm saying? Like, what are you going to do about it? You know what I'm saying?
The funny thing is, Leo Rush is so annoyingly gifted.
Yep.
He can do it all. And the fact that he annoys me so much is just keeps proving he's doing his damn job.
Yeah, absolutely. And
But
you know, who's in
Lashley
this?
confronted. He had the match with Finn
Balor.
that week, right?
Yeah, and
That was
Finn Balor running a quick roll up.
the roller pin.
Yeah, they were running a quick roll up pin, and this is the go home show to Evolution. I don't even remember the women's match. I really don't remember the women's match, but that's okay. That's okay, and you'll understand why a little bit later in the podcast.
Yeah,
but
you know what's funny? I just went blank as far as thinking what happened with the women. That episode.
Don't remember. Go home show for
the go home show
for
nothing really
Evolution.
significant on
nothing.
Yeah, you're
but
right.
It's okay. You understand why. So the main event was Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins versus Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre for the WWE Raw Tag Team Champions.
Yeah, that was actually a great match.
Oh, yeah, man.
Probably went like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Or so. Like a lot of back and forth.
It's hard to do TV matches, you know, because you got commercials in the middle of it. You know what I'm saying?
But,
but it was still really good.
We gotta definitely highlight the significance of the match though, because coming off of the beginning of the show with Roman's, you know, promo. Well, not promo. His speech about the leukemia, the situation he's facing. Of course, he had to drop the title. He had to pretty much walk away from the WWE universe.
This match to him.
They dedicated the match,
emotional.
right? Yeah, and the promo before the match, and the Shield dedicated it, and honestly, Rollins was in tears the whole night
because nobody knew what he was gonna say.
Yeah,
people didn't find out until he actually made that announcement. There's very few people. Like Triple H knew, Stephanie, maybe like a few other people knew, and
so now
they were hearing it all at the same time.
The outcome of the match, the ending of the match, it blindsided everybody.
Yeah,
because coming off of Roman's speech, everybody was speculating for weeks.
So obviously,
whether Dean
Shield win, Dean Ambrose hits Dolph Ziggler with Dirty Deeds. 1, 2, 3. They become tag team champions. They're celebrating and
no, actually, Seth Rollins got the stomp. Dean Ambrose comes in to celebrate with him, and then turns him around. Dirty D's him on top of the title belt.
Oh,
so now they're brand new World Tag Team Champions, and this is the night that Dean Ambrose decides to turn heel.
Perfect.
And at the time, honestly, I was like, "Damn, that was in bad taste." WWE did that in bad taste, but after cooling off with the emotion of hearing Roman Reigns and what he's going through, it was perfect.
You gotta remember Roman Reigns gave the okay. He gave the sign off to that.
After waiting so long for something significant to happen with Dean Ambrose and the won't he every week, to use that moment to not only capitalize on everybody's sensitivity, but to just upstart Dean Ambrose's run, it was the perfect moment.
Yeah,
I think with this he kind of topped the Seth Rollins original turn on the Shield.
I think it would have if they didn't tease it so much.
Yeah,
and you know what else? Something that I wish they didn't do.
And that's what made it so great to me, because as much as you were speculating, as much as people were going back and forth, will he, won't he? We never expected it that night.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So
that's what made it so good. Because
it translated so well on TV, and it shocked me. At first, I was a little upset, and usually I already can foresee a lot of things that's gonna happen, or I kind of see the trend. I kind of see the trend, and I kind of like let it slip. I even said on the last podcast in the beginning, when we first found out, of course, we watch wrestling. While we watch,
we're watching right now. It's Judgment Day
2001.
We're
watching the Chris Benoit match versus
Kurt Angle.
Woo! 2 out of 3 falls. Later on in the night, Chris Benoit will join the Gauntlet match, teaming with Chris Jericho. They'll go on later that week, have my favorite TLC match on SmackDown, and win the World Tag Team Championships. That's why this is one of my favorite pay-per-views. But going back, we watch wrestling while we do these podcasts, so that whole Roman Reigns thing threw me off. I usually can foresee where things are gonna happen, or I have somewhat of an idea. That threw me so off that it was a shock. That whole heel turn was a shock.
I think it was a great time to do it. Nobody's seen it, so that's what made it great. And the win off, Seth Rollins was just like, he was pleading, not even pleading. He was like, I understand, we can work it out, and it made him even angrier. And then he went out and took the mat off the outside and he gave the dirty deeds on the concrete. It was great. It's great.
It's great storytelling.
It's great storytelling.
This is
because
finally a highlight.
What I hope they're not exploiting Roman Reigns' leukemia. They're using it in a story.
Yeah,
it's
but
the backdrop.
Not only that, as far as Seth Rollins being the one that got turned on, because originally it was supposed to be, from the rumor reports and stuff, Roman Reigns and Dean were supposed to fight for the Universal title. He was supposed to turn on Roman. So the fact that he turned on Seth, them being multiple time tag team champions already together, and the fact that Seth still harbors that guilt for when he did it.
Oh, years ago. Yeah.
So it's just good storytelling when
definitely
Seth is like at a war with himself. Like, I understand why you did this, but you also did betray me in this moment. So I just want to see where it goes from here.
Yeah, it's gonna go good. Then we're gonna roll on over the next night to SmackDown Live, and SmackDown Live opened up. I'm pretty sure SmackDown Live opened up with somebody talking, because God forbid a wrestling show opens up with a match. It was somebody.
So,
I guarantee you it was somebody talking. And then the first match was Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles versus Usos.
I don't think it started with a promo, actually. It just started off with that match.
I doubt very seriously. I would have specifically remembered.
Well, I was there live. I don't remember.
Oh yeah.
I was actually there live.
You sure there was no
we were
man, there was no
we were
promos.
trying to buy tickets to WWE Evolution.
Oh yeah.
And my dumb ass trying to remove somebody who couldn't make it ends up purchasing tickets for the next night's SmackDown. So I was forced to drive to Jersey and watch SmackDown live. Yeah.
I mean, it was a bad thing.
I mean, it wasn't a bad thing. I enjoyed myself because you know what? There's nothing better as a fan being live and just going heel on your own.
Yeah.
The whole night, I'm going against people. They're chanting for Rey Mysterio. I'm chanting for Miz. They're chanting for AJ, and I'm chanting for the Usos. And I'm like, people screaming at me, Mark, and there's a bunch of stuff.
Hey, Kayfabe AJ, you know. Speaking of tickets, you know what happens to people who decide that they should go to Fright Fest on the day of? Talk about tickets, and it's all sold out, and I've never been to Fright Fest.
Let me guess. Are you?
I am. You know why? You know what happens to people who talk about that the last minute? Huh? You know what happens to people who don't go to Fright Fest when we should have? You know what happens? I don't have my pen, but you know what happens? Huh? Do you? You just made the list! God damn it.
Yeah, well, today's Halloween. We're doing this episode on Halloween, and, Fright Fest is open, but I like a big group. Anyways.
Anyway,
I like to be well planned. I want to go, money, everything.
Right,
but let's that from conversation real quick.
Yeah. And then next on SmackDown, we had Miz TV.
So this episode was enjoyable because Miz is straight up in the ring telling him like
Miz is awesome. That's why
they got to give him his due. Yes. They got to give him his due, and I feel like on SmackDown he went from possibly being main event right back to mid card level.
But Miz is
it's
the main
annoying.
Event. Miz is awesome, but Miz might win this World Cup, this Crown Jewel World Cup.
He should, by all means, he should. What's better than having Miz with something to brag about? But he kind of like is trolling Rey Mysterio, talking down on him, like, why did you even come back? Yeah. Like, I've been holding SmackDown down. I'm the guy, whatever. And he tries, Rey Mysterio tries to tell him, let's have a match then. Too good for a match. Obviously, he gets stopped by the GM. He has the match. He's forced into the match with Rey Mysterio. Good back and forth. It definitely looked like seeing it live. I don't know how to translate it on TV, but it looks like they have to get their rhythm back. Yeah, as far as Rey is.
WWE is a different style than New Japan, than the Indies.
And Rey's a vet, so
yeah.
I think he just needs to work himself back into the WWE style a little bit. But
there was a
match.
There was a dark match. Someone with a dark
Yeah,
match.
so before Evolution even kicked off on Sunday, I actually got to see Becky Lynch versus Charlotte for the title in a dark match after the mixed match challenges that were aired after SmackDown. So I actually got to see. The night started. Well, when I got to SmackDown, I was actually running a little late. I missed the end of. I missed the match. Mustafa
Ali and Hideo Itami.
Yeah, which turned out to be the greatest. Which definitely became the greatest match in 205 history. And I walked in and pretty much the guys threw the table already. So I didn't really. I missed the whole thing.
It was a really good match.
But it was 205. Then SmackDown, they aired the mixed match challenges. Mm-hmm. Then they aired the Becky Lynch versus Charlotte. Great match. Good warm up between them. Of course, Becky came out on top. Good overall. Like, to be a surprise and not even expect to go live. It was good.
SmackDown is the better show. SmackDown's
I don't know. I feel like they have the better matches as far as the time given to the match, but I don't know. Raw's been on fire. Raw's been on fire recently. Whether you like the Dogs of War situation, Shield situation or not, it's really been on fire.
My favorite two things. It's funny. My favorite two things. One is on Raw. One is on SmackDown. My favorite two things in the WWE right now are Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, and the other thing is Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is
Becky Lynch is SmackDown right now.
That's the sound I need to get the Jerry Lynn. Okay, you notice this throwback. They're at WWF New York, and Jerry Lynn is the light heavyweight champion. Did you ever go to WWF New York as a kid?
I actually did a few times, but never ate at the restaurant at the bottom.
It was horrible food and it was really, really expensive. But I went there a couple of times.
I've never actually watched the pay-per-view. I was a little too young at that time.
My sister's ex-boyfriend performed there. It was pretty awesome. They had the light up jacket, WWF light up jacket.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. But speaking of Evolution, we weren't even talking about Evolution. You see how I just segued into that? We were at Evolution, and I just want to say, I want to thank all the women that have ever stepped in a ring, period.
Definitely.
But since we're specifically talking about the WWE Universe, all the women that have ever laced their boots and stepped up. It was wonderful. It was great. It was one of the best shows I've ever been to.
Honestly, it was the greatest show I've ever been to. A WWE event live. I've been to 3 SummerSlams in a row. I've been to NXT takeovers 3 in a row, and it had the best thing going for it. It had the NXT vibe, lights specifically on the ring, crowd blacked out, and the reason I say it was the greatest pay-per-view I've ever been to. Literally, we're in our seats and we're talking about how good the Battle Royal is, and I start feeling goosebumps. Yeah. The sound of the arena, the people banging their feet and screaming, it all came to a head. That electricity that The Rock, and I keep going back to this reference, the electricity that The Rock talks about when he hits that stage or feels the crowd, I felt that for the first time. And I've actually seen The Rock live. And I'm telling you, this Evolution pay-per-view knocked it out the fucking park.
So for like 5 seconds, everybody in the stadium was just on the same frequency because we literally felt the arms on our hands stand up. Like we were all just rocking and shaking. Like you literally felt.
And I'm screaming to Rich, you feel that? Do you feel that? And literally in that moment,
it was
just electricity.
Everybody was just it was great. Everybody was over that. That's why I love it was a really nice crowd, like you said. It was an NXT crowd. It was great. It was great. They need to do this again. Long overdue. What was your favorite match from Evolution?
Oh, it has to be the last woman standing. Between Becky Lynch and Charlotte. That stole the show. Ronda and Nikki could not follow, And going back to what you were saying earlier, as far as the go home show for Raw and SmackDown leading into Evolution, this shit didn't even need the build up.
Didn't even need it. Didn't matter.
It didn't even. People were complaining for. We have a forum on Facebook where we have hundreds of people who commentate on all things entertainment, but specifically wrestling, and all through those boards, bitching, moaning, complaining. Oh, Evolution is probably gonna suck. People talking about, hey guy, I'm feeling like selling my tickets. I'm here like, hey, how much? I know it's gonna be good. These are the reasons. The last podcast, the Women's Evolution episode, I gave you the reasons. 5 reasons why some of the matches were booked properly, although it had issues. Some of them admittedly didn't have the amount of time on Raw and SmackDown to build it up, but it didn't need it. It was flawless show. And all the people that were complaining, silenced. Immediately silenced.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't think that Evolution was going to be bad. I was upset with WWE because I know how good WWE can promote. I know how good WWE can shove something down your throat and make you see it, make it stick it into your subconscious. And I feel like, and I really felt like they didn't do that with WWE Evolution. But you know what? In the go home shows, the go home angles for Evolution were horrible. But you know what? It didn't even matter because at Evolution, it was an amazing show. I liked every single match, but I agree with you. My favorite match was the
what's
last
funny,
woman standing match.
We were talking about the UK title not being defended there the last podcast. They ended up putting it. It was in the pre-show.
It was in the pre-show.
They aired it. I don't know if they aired it on WWE Network, but in the arena they had the UK title before the pay-per-view got officially on the way.
This phone has like low battery, so like it dies like every second.
So Evolution was definitely dope. Standout matches. It started with the Trish Stratus Lita tag team.
Yes.
We had just arrived at that moment, so we kind of
get that like right on time.
Yeah, like right there, but we kind of missed the majority of the match.
I seen a lot of it because I was standing there before when you guys.
Yeah, we had some jerk was sitting in our row.
Yeah, we had to move them out.
So,
we had really good seats. We always managed to get really good seats, but Trish Stratus looked good. The MVP of this match was definitely Mickie James. Mickie James.
She definitely held it down.
That's
the only spot I would say in that match that kind of was like, oh, I could do without it was the Hardy Boy spot Lita and Trish are doing. It does not look good.
It's supposed to be like a boost up.
I get the nostalgia with Lita being a past Team Extreme, but it just Trish doesn't have the frame I think anymore to hold Lita's weight. It looks like she's got a curb stomp.
I don't really think Lita has
Trish.
The hops to really do it anymore, to be honest with you.
It's probably a mixture of both.
Yeah.
But the match overall, the match overall was good. I believe the Battle Royal was next.
Yeah, the Battle
phenomenal.
Royal. It was structured really well.
And this was something that people were like, oh, that's for all the people that they didn't know what to do with.
For what WWE didn't have any creative for.
And
creative didn't have anything for you.
It was. That was probably my second favorite match under Becky Lynch. That's where I felt the electricity of the crowd, and it just built the night up.
Because everybody was over it. Like you said, it was a really good crowd. It was an NXT. We were an NXT crowd, and I was talking to people besides the Council Commentary Wrestling Podcast. I'm in the Don't Try This at Home wrestling chat group, and we were talking about. He was like, "Yo, on TV, he's like, y'all were great for every single match." He's like, "I only got quiet for the Mae Young because they didn't really know in NXT."
Yeah. And that's kind of a fault I had in going in without really watching the Mae Young Classic. I said that in the last podcast.
I think last year's was better, but it's still awesome.
This is why you guys need to listen to us weekly, because we say a lot of things on this podcast, just trying to predict what's gonna happen, where things are leading, and a lot of times it ends up happening.
Yes.
I was saying hashtag gives Tamina a chance as a joke. And who ends up getting one of the biggest spots of the night? Tamina versus Nia Jax. Yeah.
But you know what?
Yeah.
It's true.
Hashtag give Tamina a chance.
Yeah, sure.
So it ended up happening. Not only that, it happened the next night on Raw, but we'll get to that.
It was. Everybody was really rooting for Ember. They played a lot of stories. I don't think WWE quite knew what they had or maybe they did when they put Ember Moon and Asuka, because remember that issue never got resolved. Asuka beat Ember Moon, but she cheated, but they never could have the rematch because Asuka was being called up, and then she broke her collarbone, and then she just left the NXT, like undefeated.
They had a lot of those moments, and in fact, we ended up starting the first NXT champ of the night in that match.
Yes.
So
you did.
Yeah, you can credit Kayfabe AJ and the Kayfabe live cast, Mr. Richie Moon, for the first major NXT pop of the night.
Yep.
We started that in our row.
Yep.
But it was amazing. I was super into this pay-per-view.
It was great. Yes.
What do you think they could have done differently or, changed up to make it better? What do you think they should do if they ever do a Evolution 2?
I would like to see, obviously, the women's tag team championship.
There were a lot of people rooting for that there.
Yeah,
at the end of the night, we ended up going down next to the ring. You can check these pictures out and videos from the actual event.
Yep. On
Kayfabe AJ on IG and Kayfabe Avenue Livecast on IG.
Mine was in the store. I gotta put them up again because I put them in the store.
But there were a lot of signs, people asking for the women's tag team championship.
Yeah, there were a bunch of them.
And I think that's what I would have changed. I think I would have used that opportunity to debut that.
Yeah, I would have. Yeah,
I think the Lita and Trish match would have been for the World Tag Team Championship.
Yeah.
If not, put Sasha Banks and Bayley in that
that's
situation.
That's why I really want to see. I really wanted to see like Sasha and Banks. I really wanted to see like Sasha and Bayley versus Lita and Trish, because I feel like that's like, booked right, that's like the juxtaposition, what I'm saying, with Trish and Lita and Bayley and Sasha, But I want to, Shayna Baszler and Kyrie and Kyrie same match was really great, and also introduced the two other horsewomen.
Listen,
and I think it's gonna be
again. Listen to our podcast, because that was something I predicted during our predictions. I definitely said.
True.
It's going to be interference with the four horsewomen because they're probably going to debut soon. It's going to cause a distraction. Boom. New champion. And honestly, it was a good match. Good match back and forth. So, my favorite spot in that match was that kind of like arm twist submission thing she was doing to Kyrie.
Yeah.
It looked like she broke her arm.
I love that spot.
Dude, we could hear the snap from we were in section 100. We could hear it.
My only problem with that move is it needs to be like a finisher, because I feel you can't do that.
You can't survive after.
You can't do that too early in the match.
Let me put you in a light arm bar after that.
Yeah, there needs to be like a setup for a finisher.
But
that's my only issue with
Baszler definitely showed improved. She definitely had a good match.
Yeah.
The horsewomen are finally being integrated into the story. Yeah. And we'll probably see them soon on NXT.
Yep. And Kyrie Sane's going to need some backup.
Not Kyrie Sane. Shayna Baszler is in a new crowd of people. 2-time champions in NXT. That is rare.
Yes.
Usually you have one reign. If you prove yourself during that reign, or they have space for you, they'll call you up right after your reign is over.
Who are the 2-time champions? Samoa Joe. Shayna Baszler. DUI. No. The Revival. And
so it will be the Revival, Joe, Shinsuke, Baszler, and I forgot what they used to go by.
Oh, so that's Undisputed Era.
Is it?
Yeah.
He looks so different.
Yeah, Undisputed Era.
O'Reilly looks so different.
That's alright. That's all.
Well, yeah, the Undisputed Era. So, two-time champion. She's in a rare elite crowd in NXT. Great match. Great match.
Yeah, that's something.
So, what else?
And after Evolution, did you know what happened on the same weekend as Evolution? You know what was going on the same weekend as Evolution? This event was giving off WrestleMania vibes. All right, and I can say that. All right. And now you're damn right I'm bragging. I've been to 4 WrestleManias 3 times in a row. Alright? Okay? The Cruise of Jericho was going on this weekend. You had the Sea of Honor tournament You had Sami Calhoun versus Marty Scurll. You had the Elite versus Alpha Club. Or, you know, is it the Bucks? Is it Y2 Jackson? Or is
I
it
think
the
I
Bucks
like
of
Y2
Jericho?
Jackson.
Or is it the Bucks of Jericho?
I think I like the Bucks of Jericho.
I think I like the Kayfabe podcast. Or the Kayfabe podcast. But this is a big event. We both said that we wish that we were there. That's definitely a big goal next year. It was during your birthday weekend. So hopefully they happen at the same time next year. And we'll go next year. And we'll be doing a show live from the Cruise of Jericho.
That's a definite thing that I have to look into and make sure that we lock that.
For me now. That's a wrestling goal for me.
Yeah, if he plans on making the second one, which I don't think he has any reason not to.
It's sold out. It completely sold out.
It sold out, and from the looks of all the pictures and the videos I've seen, it was amazing.
It looked awesome.
The sights, the sounds, the podcast they had.
You had
everything.
You had
open bar, food,
the Elite
everything.
versus Impact. You had Alpha Club versus the Bucks of Jericho, or is it Y2 Jackson? You had the Sea of Honor tournament, and if that person gets a future Ring of Honor championship match, and it seems like Flip Gordon won it because he put up a picture. Oh hell yeah! Flip Gordon put up a picture on Instagram, and it says undefeated on the sea with a trophy. So it's just like
that's hilarious.
Yeah, you know. So Flip Gordon,
even you know, nobody's ever done this before. Put a ring on the cruise and make that your arena, and the production value on it looked amazing.
Yep, and they had podcasts on it. They
had Fozzy live.
They did a live talk of Jericho with Rey Mysterio, Conan,
dedicated to Eddie Guerrero.
That was awesome. Oh, dude, that's awesome. They had other podcasts going on. They had stand-up comedians there.
I think that could possibly be like the indie access, like you know, something like that.
They didn't have like it's not like you just go up to them like they're in this bubble. Like you have like you're seeing Chris Jericho walk, you're seeing Kenny Omega.
And we got to give hats off to Jericho because he made history with this.
Yes,
we had WWE represented by Rey Mysterio. We had Impact. We had Ring of Honor. We had New Japan.
JR and Jerry the King Lawler and JR was hosting it. So you had everybody was covered. You had Impact, Ring of Honor, WWE, Impact, NWA was there. Well, Cody still kind of represents NWA, but I don't know. Nick Aldis should have been there, but
yeah, he definitely should have.
Yeah, but this definitely had to.
Very packed, first time ever.
I always say Chris Jericho's running on GOAT status.
It was definitely a weekend of first. First female pay-per-view was a success. It looks like the first ever.
And you know what also was a first? You know what also was a first?
Success.
The Street Profits won the Evolve Tag Team Champions.
Right. And somebody else from NXT won the heavyweight title over there, right?
Fabian, Fabian, not Aichner? Fabian Aichner.
I'm not too familiar with Fabian, honestly.
I've never really.
But it's a weird thing to hear that somebody from a WWE promotion is actually getting titles in an indie promotion, you know?
So, I think... You know what I really find interesting about that? Matt Riddle, who was debuting tonight, he was debuting in an hour, because we're recording this on Wednesday at 7:02. He's debuting in an hour on NXT. He was a former Evolve champion, and so was Keith Lee. So they've used a lot. They
do a lot of work with Evolve. Evolve was at WrestleMania Access last year.
It's interesting that they're doing this cross intersection now, and then they're having War Games with NXT. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I would love to see. You know what? We should start some fantasy book of warfare on here. I would love to see NXT and Evolve kind of mismatch cross promotion together, and
who knows? We can do something with the fantasy because we're actually brainstorming a little Kayfabe fantasy league thing. So we'll keep people posted on that.
Especially when we start the live cast, that's really going to take.
Oh yeah,
that's when the ideas are really. Things are coming very soon. Camera's coming soon. We already got things for it, but we'll talk about that.
Well, we're at the underground stage of this, and for the people who are subscribing and listening, we thank you guys, and
thank you.
Just give us the time to
build,
get off the ground a little bit, but we definitely promise some good visuals and good audio going forward.
Things are coming. There is an ICW show. I was at the last ICW show. It was pretty awesome. I got to see Rich Swann in a really good match. Homicide from Impact. It was dope. Oh, on Including Jericho is also LAX versus the Young Bucks, which I can't. It's coming out on Fight TV on Saturday night. I'm gonna do it.
The cruise
order that.
The cruise of Jericho's being streamed on Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think I really
see. So they probably were waiting till the 3 days were over of the cruise to just compact all the wrestling events.
I got an idea, but we'll talk about that. So yeah, like I said, there's an ICW show going on in Queens. It's an independent company out there. A lot of former WWE people have wrestled at ICW. Tons of that. Actually, ICW is one of the things that are talked about being streamed on the WWE network because they're talking about
that'd be great.
There's a lot of people going.
And that's a New York-based promotion, so that's really awesome.
Yep. AJ, you were at SmackDown on Tuesday. We were at Evolution. I just wanted to bring that up. That was just awesome, you know. And Raw was SmackDown on Monday was in White Plains, the county center, a place that they've always gone to. And if you look at my Kayfabe Av live cast, you can see I have pictures from the county center from literally 20 years ago, from Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Big Viscera, Doink the Clown.
Being there live?
Adam Bomb, Big Man, Bam Bam Bigelow. You know what I'm saying? Bret Hart, like, dude, like, forever. And then we had a new episode of Being Elite, the Halloween version, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah, it was good. It was very good.
The scary story that Cody was telling.
Yeah. See, it was very funny, but I feel like it's also... I think Cody's kind of in like a retraction phase. Like I think they've been leaning so much into will we go to WWE, won't we? That now is like, let's take away that belief entirely. You know, and with the story he was telling is like, you know what's scary? 265 days on the road, and
you like Christmas? You know you're gonna be on Christmas on a plane.
You're gonna be on a plane. So you know, very big on the satire when talk about WWE this week. They've been leaning heavily into Triple H, maybe scouting them for future matches, being signed to WWE.
Which I mean, this is a constant theme in our podcast, or is it the live cast, every single week. But I'm gonna ask you again. Do you think the Elite are coming to WWE?
I definitely think at this point the only other option I will stick to this is if they're making their own promotion. That's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah.
The Elite come off as a group of people that don't like being complacent.
The Elite Society.
The Elite Society.
That's what they're calling themselves.
I can't wait for that shirt.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
I can't wait for that shirt. Elite Society. Officially coined on the episode of Being the Elite, the Halloween edition.
Yo, it's so funny because I was working out at the gym the other day, and yeah, whatever. I take my shameless, topless selfies, whatever. I work hard for this body, and I said Elite Society, and then like their name now is the Elite Society. Like it's just.
I honestly, I feel like somebody listens in on our conversations, sends it to the writing teams, and sends it to these groups.
The date, like a couple days before, like I felt like that was just a cool name, Elite Society. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I always say, "Oh, party elite," or we'll post pictures with our Bullet Club. You know what I'm saying? We represent the Bullet Club.
Yeah, because Bullet Club was like anybody could be part of the club.
Yeah.
So now it's like anybody, you know. Anybody can be a part of the Elite Society. Now
I think they're kind of alienated it though.
Well, alienated.
Think about the name of that. The Elite,
that just reminds me.
An Elite Society.
I can't stand the way they alienate Marty on being elite.
But like I was saying, it's not that. It's because Marty is signed a contract with Ring of Honor. That's why. That's why. Remember at the end of All In, Marty wasn't in the ring. Because Marty signed a contract with Ring of Honor, so he's going to be there for like the next year or two, regardless. It's only.
But he's just but that's the confusing thing about the Bullet Club and how it was formed and how it was upheld. Why would that matter as far as input? You know, like Marty's a big, giant piece of that puzzle.
He is. But the people whose contracts are up is Hangman Page, the Young Bucks, Cody, and Kenny Omega. all their contracts up around the same time, and Marty already signed his contract with Ring of Honor.
So I don't think
So he's
going back to the will they go to WWE? I don't think Cody will go this hard mentioning them at this point. It's a swerve happening. They're either gonna make a new promotion or they're really gonna go. I think the headlines have been buzzing for the past 2 weeks plus, to the point that they have to start negating attention from that.
I hope the rumors are true with JR and Chris Jericho forming a new wrestling company with the person's funding it, the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Speaking of
I hope that rumor is true. And the rumor innuendo is it's Chris Jericho, JR are going to be running it, and obviously the first people are going to sign are the Elite Society.
So speaking of people running stuff, Will Ospreay, who's injured right now.
Yeah, I see.
He went back to his old promotion, and they're rebranding under the banner of Frontline, and Will Ospreay is gonna be promoting and booking shows. He's gonna be running things.
That's awesome. That's another guy WWE is heavy after, but Will Ospreay.
I take nothing away from Ospreay, and I hope he does great. But I think I have to give credit to the Elite. I don't think before All In, I don't think people thought about the possibilities of what they can actually do, being independent wrestlers and fending for themselves outside the corporation of a WWE. And I think they finally inspired a lot of these people to grasp these brass rings for themselves. I'm
reaching for the grass spring. I'm reaching for the grass spring for podcast listeners. That's what I'm doing. I'm reaching for the.
He's reaching right now.
Yeah,
but
I'm trying to break the ceiling.
He's trying to get over that fence.
Hey,
Go back to AJ.
Ask me what I'm trying to do.
She's trying to get over.
I'm just trying to get over. I'm just trying to get over. That's all we're trying to do over here on Kayfabe App, okay? Or Kayfabe Livecast. Just trying to get over.
So, Ospreay's old promotion was RCWA, based in Rainham, Essex, so in the UK.
Yeah.
And they're rebranding it to the Frontline brand. This happened maybe like 4 days ago.
I seen a post about that. Yeah, I actually meant to post about that. It's in my repost, but I just didn't just post it.
And you know what? Good for Ospreay.
Yeah, man.
Good for Ospreay, because he's really, like, if you follow Ospreay on anything, Twitter or IG, he's really been taking his injury a little hard. He's been depressed and losing weight and stuff. And this will be something that not only will broaden him, but help him actually keep on his feet, active, and maybe not in that depressive slump that he's been really honest about. And he'll build opportunities kind of like a Cody, I think, out of that situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another noteworthy thing I think I should mention, which is a very inspirational thing to me, because Emma the other day, which is Tennille Dashwood.
Yeah, that's her real name.
Yeah, Tennille Dashwood. She's on her IG and she posts some pictures of her showing her issues with psoriasis, and it's really. I posted one of the pictures. I didn't really post the rest because it really was bad, but it was inspirational because she's pretty much saying, I suffer from things. I'm not always comfortable with my skin, and this is somebody we see on TV. Everybody loves Emma.
Yes, she's doing her
loves Tennille.
She's doing her thing in Ring of Honor. She was probably going to become the Ring of Honor champion, but she got injured.
I think it's another Roman Reigns situation. Here's my life issue. Here's what I'm going through, and let me inspire others by showing them my struggle. And hats off to Tennille Dashwood. Hats off to Emma, because I know people personally who suffer with it, and they do have self-esteem issues and bad self-image, and I've definitely firsthand seen how that could impact somebody's decisions in life, and so very inspirational. I felt like that was definitely worth a mention.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that, we're gonna go to this week's SmackDown.
Monday Night Raw.
You wanna go on this week's Monday Night Raw?
Yeah.
Ooh, so this week's Monday Night Raw, my bad, yes. This week's Monday Night Raw opened with Mr. Baron Corbin, which almost seemed like a Halloween episode of WWE because
he
he was
was
standing in the middle of the ring with the WWE.
He was clutching that title like he just wanted more.
Now, can you imagine not seeing? Can you imagine not seeing WWE for a while and then just like turn
it
back
on and see Corbin with the title?
Corbin with the title? You might just turn the channel. Sorry, Baron Corbin, but you know what? I'll say this: I like Baron Corbin as a general manager.
He grew up. Honestly, I like him more as a general manager than
Kurt
his
Angle.
than Kurt Angle, but also than Corbin's past persona.
Absolutely.
I feel like this actually opened
fits.
up his
funny.
His
He can be
personality.
funny.
Like he gave him more avenues to explore. He can be funny. He can be serious. He can be a little bit of the joke. Like I feel like if he ever transitions back to just wrestling, and that's it, I think he'll have more of an advantage and he'll have more fans on his back. Corbin makes me laugh.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, it's some of his best work.
At least you know what I like about it? Corbin gets his receipts, and what I mean by this is segue right into Raw. but you know what? No. Well, I don't want to skip a segment, but I'm gonna skip a segment and I'm gonna go back. So Baron Corbin ends up getting power slammed by Braun Strowman. No, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to start off with like how we started off. So Baron Corbin is standing in the middle of the ring, and he did something which I really liked. He said, personally, I want Roman Reigns to get better from leukemia. Personally, when he comes back and beats leukemia and comes back to the WWE, I hope he doesn't come back to Raw on a professional level.
Yeah.
Which I liked because you're mixing the personal with the storyline, because that's what it is. You know, everybody's saying when he comes back, I just don't want to be here.
You know what? We have to springboard back to last week's Raw. Mm-hmm. That actually reminded me. We didn't touch base on that. So coming into this week, Corbin was attacked the week before by Elias, and Elias actually turned face for the first time.
I was gonna mention that. Yeah. I'm glad. Yeah, that happened. That did happen.
That happened last week.
That did happen last week. Absolutely.
On this week's episode of Raw, it was that's what Corbin's storyline was kind of leading to, as far as his thing with Elias.
There might be
Elias is super over.
Yeah, he definitely is.
His thing is he gets interrupted every week in, week out.
We got to do a setup for that, though. You just can't throw that out there like that, man. Because there's only one universal truth. And that WWE stands for. we gotta do a setup for that, man. You just can't just throw that out there.
So Corbin comes out, and he's the one interrupting Elias this week.
Yeah. And
he pretty much is saying, like, you're not good. Pack your stuff. Get out of here. Like, Elias walks like he's going to leave, turns around, waits till Corbin's distracted, and smashes the guitar on his back. That thing shattered, turned into dust.
And boom, face turn, just like that. And everybody loved it. Everybody loved it because everybody loves Elias. Because you know why? Because everybody wants to walk with Elias.
Yeah, he's super over.
And that's the bottom line.
Flashing forward to this week.
We have Baron Corbin standing in the ring, and then out of nowhere, so everybody's surprised, Brock Lesnar's music hit, and it wasn't just Paul Heyman; it was the Beast himself came out, and Baron Corbin started to like basically started to dick ride Brock, and then Paul Heyman just grabbed the mic and was just like, "Listen, you do your shtick, and let me just do." I'm
still not ready for Brock. First of all,
it's not believable. I don't believe it anymore.
I completely forgot about Brock.
Yeah, so do I.
Do you realize he's only been twice involved in any storyline leading up to Crown Jewel? He's only been on TV twice. I completely forgot he was in the match.
Well, see, it was different before.
Come this Raw, I was like, what the hell? Oh shit, yeah, Brock is in that championship match.
Because before it didn't matter because we knew that Roman was winning because Roman was the rock star of that match, and we were really like, okay, it's gonna be Roman and Braun like really going at it, and Brock's gonna be there. But now it's the whole dynamic has changed, and it was the rumor and innuendo said that Drew McIntyre was pitched to make it a 3-way.
Drew is next.
If
I make any prediction going forward, and I have faith is going to pan out, Drew McIntyre is next. You heard it here.
we'll talk about Drew McIntyre in a little bit. So Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar start getting into each other's faces. Baron Corbin puts his hand on Braun Strowman, puts his hand on the man castle that is Braun Strowman. Boom! Power slam. Crowd saying one more time. Power slams him again. He does it a third time. Brock Lesnar comes behind him. Boom! Hits him with an F5. That's the go home angle for Crown Jewel.
I don't like the way that
things got changed last minute. What else are they gonna do?
I just don't like the way Braun Strowman looks when he's taking that F5.
Because it's heavy.
He's big as hell. He's a huge dude. It doesn't look good. I think that look good. I think
Braun got to win.
I think Brock has to start when it comes to big guys like Braun. Brock has to go back to his submission wrestling a little bit more.
Brock's a different wrestler now. He's not doing that stuff now. Brock's coming in here doing Suplex City, Suplex F5.
Well, Brock's not a wrestler anymore.
Honestly, he's not a wrestler anymore.
He's a fighter in the ring.
Then after that, we have Finn Balor versus Bobby Lashley. And you already know who came down there. The man of the hour, okay? He looks like money. He walks like money. He talks like money. It's my man, Bobby. And he came down there to face the leader of the Balor Club. Oh, man. We're the only people part of the Balor Club. See, and I missed that. I was gonna actually I was actually gonna put up a post like with him in the Bullet Club in New Japan, and then him hold up the hugger sign. Like, man, you went from the leader of the Bullet Club to the leader of the Hugger Club.
Yeah, I knew what's funny. I kind of felt, and Finn Balor was there supporting Bayley, and every time Bayley would come on, I would tap my knees and go, hugs.
Oh gosh, I would tell her every time, shut up. Like,
kind of felt bad, but that's where Finn Balor's at right now. Especially
every time we did that, you know what I felt like doing to you? You know what I felt like doing to you?
Well, I hope they delete his connection with Bayley, man. They could be friends, but he needs to ride his own wave. Like,
Finn Balor just needs more attitude. That's it. He doesn't need a heel turn. He just needs attitude, and he can cut promos. He can do all that stuff.
Yeah, I don't feel like they give it him.
If people don't know, go back and listen to our Bullet Club episode. Go back and watch Prince Devitt, YouTube Prince Devitt. Like, Finn Balor can turn up. He can be a completely different person, and he doesn't need to turn heel. He just needs to have more attitude. There actually needs to be a Balor Club.
Yeah.
Besides the WWE universe, but hey, we'll get there one day. We will get there. So the match got Finn Balor was actually about to win the match against Bobby Lashley. Lio Rush comes. He's about to hit him with the coup de grace. Lio Rush comes, pushes him off the turnbuckle. Obviously a DQ. And after the match, Bobby Lashley beat Finn Balor down. Put him in a full Nelson. You know what I'm saying? He was smacking him up, laughing him. You know what I'm saying? Just smack. You know what I'm saying? With that laugh.
You know what? It's just all building. It's just all building this rivalry between them.
That and remember when remember earlier Baron Corbin took a couple of power slams from Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
Well, while he was being helped up the ramp, Finn Balor was coming down the ramp, so he gave him like a really sarcastic too sweet. So after Bobby Lashley had beat Finn Balor down, Bobby Lashley had been summoned. Him and Lio Rush kind of been summoned backstage.
Oh yeah, he got the phone call in the ring. Yeah,
by Baron Corbin, and he rewarded him with replacing John Cena at Crown Jewel's World Cup tournament,
which is not a World Cup. It's an American Cup when there's only Americans in the
to crown
match,
the best in the world.
It's the American Cup, guys.
I
will break kayfabe today.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
Hey,
cover the mic. But yeah, it's not a World Cup.
Yeah, I don't even understand why they called. I don't understand why they're called the Crown Jewel tournament.
The big story, and this changed the storyline on Raw as well as SmackDown.
Because John Cena.
The big story coming out of that was John Cena and Daniel Bryan refusing to appear at Crown Jewel due to the political landscape that's going on over there and the situation with the journalists.
Don't say the name of the country.
Oh no!
Sorry, I said.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm not trying to get banned over there. Anyways, so yeah, they Bobby Lashley replaced them, and Corbin. Funny enough, Corbin's like the highlight of the show this week. He did like 3 segments. His next segment,
pretty funny.
The next segment was Elias.
Elias
coming back out.
Okay, so Elias, like we said, Elias turned face, and Elias is really good. Elias has a lot of charisma. He's one-liners. He's just super charismatic. He's awesome. My only problem with Elias is that his matches are not really good, but I think this can be easily fixed. Elias just needs some new offensive moves.
Just need to treat Elias like a powerhouse because at the end of the day, you hear that crowd? At the end of the day, everyone's behind Elias.
And that is a universal truth.
Everybody's behind him.
But he needs new moves. He needs a new set of offensive moves.
I think
because the moves that he has
what move do you see Elias probably utilizing?
I would
what kind of move like?
I would like to see Elias use like a power bomb more. I would like to see Elias use side Russian leg sweeps, like power moves, more that cater to him. You're saying that covers some of his weaknesses. Kind of maybe like a rainmaker, like Okada style, like grab you like for the clothesline and just boom like with like a big elbow or something like that.
Or I could easily see him with like kind of like Ambrose Fusion. I don't know if you remember how that move goes. It's pretty much like like they lift you up for like a suplex, but kind of like on the way down, hits like your head on the mat, pretty much. Yeah, I will have to show you, but it's similar to like the blockbuster off the turnbuckle. Something similar to like a blockbuster.
Okay, but then you know what? You know what's kind of disappointing? So we went to Evolution. And it was great. Like we said, we can't stop gushing over Evolution. It was fantastic. Listen, you need to go check out Evolution if you have not checked out Evolution. It's really worth the watch. The women did their damn thing. There needs to be more Evolutions. And then, the night after, we put all the women in a tag team match all together. We have Lita, Trish Stratus.
That was a really good match.
No, it was. It was very funny. It was.
They're doing good things as far as the build up to Survivor Series with the women.
It was a fun match. It was a fun match, but they could do more. Whatever. That's fine. That's the way I feel. They could do more. They could do more with the women. Later that night, we get a match between Nia Jax and Ember Moon, and then Nia Jax wins with a leg drop, and then Tamina comes out in the middle of the match, and then Tamina and Nia Jax have a stare down. And if you're wondering why my voice is turned so neutral, that's because exactly how I feel about the segment. We were at Evolution, and everybody was fucking over for Ember Moon. Everybody wanted Ember Moon to win that Royal Rumble, and she didn't. And that's okay. Whatever. I have no problem with Nia Jax winning. That really pisses me off. That really grinds my gears because they make Ember Moon look like a jobber, and then Tamina comes out. Hashtag give Tamina a chance. Is that what you want to do? Is give Tamina a chance? And I have no problem with Tamina.
I have to give Tamina a chance. See, I've always seen what Tamina could be. That's why I support Tamina. Tamina could be a fucking monster. She has the height, the build, everything. The problem with Tamina is this. Every time she gets the opportunity to shine, she either gets injured or her personality's not shining through enough. But Tamina has the legendary background as far as family goes. She has all her cousins around her. Like the tribute they did at Evolution for Roman Reigns. Imagine a Samoan family stable.
Oh yeah,
it's so many possibilities, and Tamina needs to be integrated into more storylines. She can be the antithesis to Nia Jax. she can be an extra person Ronda could fight.
Yeah.
She's big. She can do it.
Yeah. But you know how I feel about the way they booked that? You want to know what I think about WWE's writers doing that to Ember Moon and making her look like a jobber? You know how I feel about them having Tamina come out then and just making this whole build that Ember Moon and Nia Jax have been doing about a month about Friends, which you do about every single other woman WWE superstar ever? You know how I feel about that? You know how I feel about that, WWE writers? You know what happens when you do that? You know what happens?
You just made the list.
God damn it. Alright? Alright? Exactly. And then we go into my favorite segment of the entire night. So Seth Rollins comes out, you know. Looks like, you know, regular Seth comes out, pumped out, burn it down, comes out Intercontinental Championship. And then he gets on the mic and he calls out Dean Ambrose.
And this goes back to what we were speaking about earlier about the good storytelling.
Yeah.
You can see the conflict with Seth Rollins like, damn, I did it to Dean. Can I still save my brother in arms? Can I still pull him back from where we're going? And that's where he was. That's the place he was coming from in this promo. And lo and behold, Dean Ambrose comes out. His music pops. He doesn't come through the crowd. Comes out like he's still in the Shield.
He comes out through the crowd.
Through the crowd. He stays at the top of the steps. And
Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins was cutting this is good from a wrestling storytelling. This is good from a storytelling perspective, period. And it's also really good acting from Seth Rollins because you can see him like what he started off as, this is okay. Dean, we can work this out. Just come out here and talk about this. And you can see the wheels in his head turning. It's just like, wait, no, this isn't okay. So you went from, yeah, this is okay to, wait, yo, Dean, come out here. No, Dean, get your ass out here. Like, no, hell no. Like, this is your fault. Like, what the,
Yeah. He was going through the most, and Dean didn't say a word.
Dean didn't say a word.
A single word.
Great face acting.
Definitely.
Great face acting.
He was giving him that, like,
and I wish
I don't even want to listen to you right now. Like,
when
everything you're saying is bullshit.
When Dean Ambrose came back, he didn't speak for like the first 3 weeks. And then he spoke. He had like this backstage segment with Jinder Mahal, which was just wasted. I wish they would have never kept him speaking. Can you imagine that? This entire time, he would have never said one word.
Yeah, but now he can milk that, and it's gonna piss people the fuck off.
Yeah,
that we want answers. What were you thinking?
Oh.
Especially on Roman's night.
Yeah.
Especially when we just lost the brother in the Shield. We just lost the world champion.
Yeah.
People are gonna go nuts. They're gonna if WWE's smart, they take the next 3 weeks, build to Survivor Series.
Yeah, that's what they're gonna do.
I see Crown Jewel. I see Seth Rollins losing by Dean Ambrose interference.
What I would love at the Crown Jewel to happen is, I know this is not gonna happen, but
we can do our Crown Jewel predictions.
Yeah, we're definitely do some Crown Jewel predictions. My fantasy booking for this little segment would be Finn Balor comes out at Crown Jewel because he's over everywhere because he's an international star, and Finn Balor comes out and he calls out Seth Rollins, and
so
Matt?
We just got a third of Kayfabe Avenue. Kayfabe Focus finally joined the building, and of course it's the Halloween edition of the episode. And who does he come in as?
Matt
Murdock, the Daredevil. I wish you guys could see it right now. It's actually a really fucking good cosplay. You know what you needed? The tie wraps. Oh, he had him. He had him.
Round of applause for Kayfabe Focus, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, you came at the perfect time. We're speaking about the Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose segment from yesterday on Raw, and the fact that
I'm not gonna lie, they didn't watch Raw yesterday because let me know what happened.
So
came at the exact time to watch you guys.
Comes in late, comes in unknowing.
You know what? You know what happens when you come in late?
When you come in late
for the podcast, or is it the live cast?
And you're not up to date.
and you're not up to date
on the goings on in this week in wrestling's episode.
And then you almost throw a false track because you have a cool cosplay. Huh?
You know what happens?
Huh? Man, you know what happens? Huh? You know what happens when you do stuff like that? Huh? You know what happens? Kayfabe focus when you do that? Huh? When you interrupt the podcast or the live cast? You know what happens? You wanna know what happens? Huh? Huh? You wanna know what happens? You know what happens? You don't know what happens? God never just made the list!
Now we must.
Alright, so before we got through with those shenanigans, where were we? We were talking about
Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins.
So tell me, guys, can you recap what happened for
people
who wasn't here?
Dean Ambrose pretty much didn't give any feedback, no words, and like I said, if WWE was smart at this point in time, they'll milk it all the way to Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Have him do the interference at Crown Jewel.
Here's the thing with Seth Rollins being the Intercontinental Champion, he has to face the United States Champion at Survivor Series. Which I'll get back to my fantasy booking would be Finn Balor comes out at Crown Jewel, calls Seth Rollins out, beat Seth Rollins because Dean Ambrose interferes. That way you get the belt off Seth Rollins. You still protect them because Dean Ambrose interfered. Balor gets the belt. Opens up for new champions, new encounters, and then boom, you start rebuild up to Ambrose because right after Friday, right after Crown Jewel, they're heading straight into Survivor Series. Everything's going to be about Survivor Series after that. So,
no, they're already building.
And then we would have Shinsuke Nakamura
with this Raw and SmackDown. We'll talk about in a few minutes. They really are building to Survivor Series, which is
in
really
3
good.
weeks.
I love Survivor
It's
Series.
in LA.
I think it's LA. Yeah, it is. I think it is in LA.
LA tickets are expensive.
I don't think. Yeah, next time.
Yeah, I know.
But I've already hit. So I'm trying to do the bucket list, and Survivor Series already got a check on my list. I'm trying to really hit the Rumble and Mania.
Mania next year, huh?
Yep. So those tickets will sell in 2 weeks. So you guys, see you there.
Yes, definitely.
So yeah.
Throwing up 5 times for my podcast listeners. Why? Because that was my 5th time. 5 times.
You're in the
going
5-time club?
to WrestleMania.
You're in the 5-timers club?
5 times.
Sucker.
5 times going to WrestleMania, man. That's what I do, man. I was known as Mr. WrestleMania at one point. Really.
Yeah, that Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins thing is really interesting.
Oh, that's one of the best things in WWE. It's one of that's my.
So what's next on the Raw? Was that didn't end the show?
That was that. No, what ended the show was Generation X versus the Brothers of Destruction, which was quite clever. So the Brothers of Destruction come out and they talk about eviscerating and putting people in caskets.
You know how I feel this week, and especially considering like the last 2 promo segments that they had.
Do I know that? What? Does it look like I care? Do you care? Tell me, do you care? Do you care?
Now,
Do you care?
You know what? I'm gonna be completely honest with you. If they just said that the Undertaker, Brothers of Destruction versus the X match wasn't gonna happen, I wouldn't
care.
Upset.
I wouldn't care.
Now, I wouldn't be that
the last
bad.
match was good in the Super Show. We actually gave it good reviews and everything.
It depends.
But
it depends how you want to see.
With everything that's going on,
it really depends how you want to see that.
It's true. But with everything that's going on, I feel like they need to not build that anymore. It's built.
Yeah,
it's built.
You know.
Built the rest of the card.
You know.
There's changes with the John Cena thing. There's changes with the Daniel Bryan match. There's other things to focus on. Maybe add a match. What matches? When we get to SmackDown.
They have a full card.
When we get to SmackDown, we'll talk about
the
that.
only thing that pisses me off about that is like they can build that stuff so good. Why don't you build your current stuff so good? But
I mean, they get it better because the product on the Raw has been really good. SmackDown's always been pretty decent.
SmackDown's a better show, but
that's why it's worth $1 million.
That's an anagram in itself, depending on the view.
It depends. Here's the thing: when SmackDown's bad, it's really bad. But when SmackDown is good, it's way better. On SmackDown, good is way better than Raw's good. They have 2 hours. They spin plates and they tell stories.
I would argue that SmackDown is not bad. It's just it be boring sometimes.
So, yeah, it does get boring sometimes.
Now that's bad.
3 hours and they barely tell any. Sometimes they barely tell any story. It's like they're stagnant sometimes. But that's how Raw ends. And what I do like, it was kind of clever. So like I said, the Brother Destructions come out. They talk about eviscerating and tombstones and resting in pieces and not respects and all that.
We've heard it all.
They call him out. Triple H comes out, but he's missing. It's only Triple H out there. Then
Shawn Michaels appears behind them.
Super kicks Undertaker, lays him out. Kane chases him out. And then, chases him back up the ramp. And then Undertaker sits up, and then they look kind of spooked out, and then Raw ends. Okay, on to SmackDown.
On to SmackDown.
On to SmackDown. The Superior Show.
You don't know where you are right now. So before you huff and you puff and you continue to blow, let me remind you that this is the house that AJ Styles built.
For podcast listeners to the AJ Styles build,
Now,
so
it opens up with AJ Styles,
which I
and
like.
Daniel Bryan.
As a wrestling show opens up with the champion of that brand. I like it, and I like it a lot. It opens up.
And, of course, this is coming off of what we just said. Daniel Bryan, and as well as John Cena, is refusing to do Crown Jewel. So, Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles actually had the WWE Championship match scheduled for Crown Jewel. So, the segment opens with a continuation of the week previous SmackDown where the by mistake Pele kick.
Yeah.
So this week it turns out that the Pele kick wasn't by mistake, which is what Daniel Bryan was accusing him of previously. And that leads to them saying, you know what? AJ Styles is the champ. And he's straight up, why wait?
Yeah.
I'll defend this title right now. You know what? That's the type of booking and the type of thing I love about what's going on with AJ Styles. He's a fighting champion. He's a champion's champion. He does it all. He elevates everybody he's been with. And the spotlight's pretty much on him. That was a perfect move.
Yeah.
To
Shane McMahon came out and made the match.
Which was awkward. If you watched it, as it aired, it was awkward because they're already in, let's start this match. And they're circling each other. Then Shane just comes out and is like,
official.
Oh yeah, by the way, what you just said is gonna happen.
Well, the reason why he did that, you remember?
Just throw the throw the ref out there.
We have to clear that up for Crown Jewel. That's why he came out there to have that extra
Yeah, like
so they gave us one of the main events with Crown Jewel.
They did it now,
which was a great match. It went at least 20 minutes. It went through two.
I want to give that match. I really don't rate TV matches just because it's TV matches, but I definitely have
on the Stone Cold meter. What do you rate it?
Give it
a 4-star.
I say it was like 4.5 maybe.
The interesting thing about this match is this is the first time the WWE title has been defended on SmackDown since AJ Styles beat Jinder Mahal for almost a year ago. So
that's pretty cool. And
they were in hot Atlanta.
AJ's about 3 weeks away from being
like a year
champion.
This is interesting because if you listen, Daniel Bryan's kind of getting booed because they were in Atlanta, and everybody knows that Atlanta, that's the place where AJ Styles, that's the town that AJ Styles built. You know what I'm saying? Like he's from Gainesville, Georgia. I think that was like 30, maybe like 30 to 50 miles from where it was at.
I think that deserves another. Just Hotlanta.
Yeah, man, Hotlanta was
the place where AJ
Styles is always over, but
the home of Coca-Cola and boiled peanuts.
I was thinking about wearing my AJ shirt today too.
So, that match was pay-per-view level match. Great back and forth. Great sportsmanship. Yeah. Obviously, the champ who runs the camp comes out on top.
Taps Daniel Bryan out with a calf,
which is rare for a submission artist like Daniel Bryan to actually tap out.
It was a really good back and forth.
But
AJ Styles.
One of the great things about that match,
he was working over the knee the entire time.
Ring psychology. So that's where I was going. Exactly, ring psychology. Doing
Now, do you guys think that Daniel tapped out as a punishment from the writers?
I think so. I think so because and this is something I put in our chat on Facebook that we have. I said it. If this was back in the days, 1980s, even let's say early 90s, if you were a top star booked in a championship match and you gave that commitment and then went back and reneged, you'd be in the doghouse. Triple H, the COO of the company, has been in the doghouse and was jobbing like a motherfucker just for
Well, he did
the
a curtain call.
curtain call. Right.
That was a big deal.
But Saudi Arabia's deal that's a big deal. There's millions and millions of dollars on the line. You as one of the faces of the company, I'm sorry, he should have bit that bullet. Especially if you was booked previously. But SmackDown's good writing comes around for once. We have
That's
to
a
we have to
personal-
applaud when they do it right.
Yeah.
The good booking, the good writing that WWE does because they can do it.
Yep, they sure can.
Right after the
They do-
tap out,
they
who
do it a lot
comes
more on
out?
SmackDown.
Samoa Joe.
Ooh,
Joe comes out
Joe,
looking like a monster.
Joe,
And this
Joe,
is
Joe,
funny because there was rumors that Joe was injured.
Yeah.
So we completely phased Joe out of our minds.
This
And
Exactly.
You know what I wrote in my notes? You know what I wrote in my notes? This is what happens when you forget about Samoa Joe.
it's
Yeah,
true.
exactly.
And that is what happens when you forget about Samoa Joe. You both get put to sleep. Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles get passed out by the what he calls it, the Kojita clutch.
Yeah, the Kokita clutch.
Kokita clutch. Both of them put out. Samoa Joe raises the title, looks great holding the title.
He does.
I really would love, in a perfect world, I would love for Samoa Joe to go over in Crown Jewel, become the new champion. But we all know things aren't perfect.
Yeah.
So I want Joe to win, but I think my prediction as far as that, I'll just get that out the way now. I think AJ Styles is going to go over on Joe. Hopefully the rivalry continues from there.
I mean, you know how favors get tossed around and such. You know when AJ flew all the way from Argentina to work that Raw pay-per-view that
Well,
Bray
against-
Wyatt had was sick
Against
for.
the Demons.
So he had
AJ Styles was the workhorse
He
of
was the-
workhorses that
when-
month.
When Vince saw AJ do that, he was convinced that he deserved to be champion. That was him grabbing that brass ring, and this was right before he won it from
Not
Jinder.
not only that, he had his pay-per-view to go to. Flew back, filled it for Raw. Had a phenomenal match, no pun intended. Next night, he's on SmackDown. The commitment on this guy is ridiculous. So he deserves everything he gets. He deserves the year reign if that's where they're going with it.
So with that being said, do you think Joe taking a favor from Vince McMahon, because you know damn well it was Vince that probably said let's get Samoa Joe back to face AJ Styles. Do you think that Samoa Joe will probably get a push and maybe win the WWE Championship?
I mean, at this point in the storyline, it only makes sense that Joe would take it from this point.
Storyline wise, it does make sense, but
They've
I
already
don't think it's
technically
gonna
Joe was champion. He actually had AJ Styles submit, but the referee didn't see it.
happen.
What pay per view was that? Was that the Super Show?
No, that was Hell in the Cell.
Hell in the Cell. You know, technically he was supposed to be champion 2 months ago. So, you know, hopefully there's big things from Joe.
And then on top of that, do you think that WWE would want to do either a Brock and AJ match or something new?
Well,
Survivor
that
Series.
depends
You
if
know-
Brock wins.
Well, Brock and AJ is kind of still fairly new. They only had one match with each other.
Exactly.
So you're trying to say they want to do
I don't
it?
want to see. Wait. Brock. So your prediction is Brock is going to win
It's
the World
potential.
Heavyweight Champion,
I said
the
potential.
Universal Championship?
Potentially.
Oh no,
But let's
no.
finish. Let's
It
finish-
has to
Brock
be.
does deserve it though.
It has
Yeah,
to
he
be
does.
Braun.
He does. He
It
does.
has to be
He
Braun.
He does. But let's finish up the SmackDown now. So the New Day come out, and then the Brood music's hit,
Oh, that was
and
awesome.
they come out cosplaying as the Brood, which was
We had
gosh,
Big E
so
as
awesome.
Gangrel.
You had Kofi Kingston as Christian,
And Xavier as Edge.
Xavier as Edge. It was really awesome. They had and Big E and Cesaro ended up having a really good match. This is awesome chance. Ended up, it was a no disqualification match, so all three members ended up basically coming to 6-on-6 match. I don't understand why they're not doing this at Crown Jewel. It should be 6-on. It should be a 3-on-3 match for the WWE Championship and no DQ.
That makes sense. Freebird rules on both sides.
That would be awesome, but whatever. More segments about Crown Jewels with Matt. Matt.
Can we get to
Jeff
Becky?
Hardy. Yeah, hold on. We're getting there. We're getting there.
First of all, the champ deserves her due
Hold
respect.
on. We will. She gets her. That's why I'm going. That's why I'm going through this. No, we're running overtime. We should have been done by this spot up. Jeff Hardy, The Miz, RKO, Randy Orton, and Rey Mysterio come out for the segment, and The Miz is just usual. It's awesome. Everybody sounded super scripted, but just The Miz, It's The Miz.
Yeah.
He is awesome.
When he just said that he was the greatest WWE superstar in the world, I felt like he meant it.
It was true though. It's true.
He can argue it.
You cannot take that from Miz. He held SmackDown and Raw.
He's the Miz effect.
Both
It's the
for
Miz effect.
almost 2 years straight.
And then after that, we officially got Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles. AJ Styles went up to Paige and asked for it. He demanded that they give him.
No, that's what Joe AJ Styles.
Yeah, I mean, no.
AJ Styles went up to
AJ
Paige.
Styles demanded from Paige for the championship. She made it official. The Fabulous Truth come out. They got a new song come out. I like Carmelo. I like face Carmelo. Melo's still mine to me.
I like Melo
We
period.
had a
Do we have enough for a dance break?
nope.
No dance
No
breaks.
dance break. No dance break. Sorry. But Mela is money, and R-Truth had a match with Shinsuke Nakamura. And Corey Graves has been hilarious in this. I heard Ty Dillinger re-injured his fingers counting. Corey Graves.
He injured his fingers counting. That's funny because Ty Dillinger going into this episode of SmackDown was supposed to come back and actually have his United States Championship match against Shinsuke, and lo and behold, they said that his fingers was.
You know what that deserves of the week? You know what that deserves of the week?
Corey Graves is
a
hilarious douchebag.
You deserve this for the week.
Are you kidding me?
Because he said, I heard Ty Dillinger re-injured his fingers counting.
That was perfect.
10. Alright, and then next. Oh man. Hold up. She needs her own introduction. Hold up. Because she is the man. Of course. She get that fire. She get that hot fire. In my notes, I literally just wrote, oh my God, Becky. the new levels of savagery that Becky Lynch has reached is epic. Is of epic proportions.
It's a next level.
She is
Definitely.
the man. I love Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is my favorite thing in WWE right now. She is awesome.
Now,
and here at WWE, here's what's gonna happen. In Los Angeles Survivor Series, Ronda Rousey is going to get booed. And everybody's gonna be riding.
It's true. I'm gonna boo Ronda. There's no one going over Becky in my mind right now. Becky is on fire.
Did you see her savage
Now,
tweets?
this is coming off of Evolution and her win in the Last Woman Standing match. And the first words out her mouth, I won. Straight to the point. Daggers. Forget Charlotte. Went straight to Ronda Rousey. She's been throwing shots at Rousey all week. If you follow them on Twitter or you follow them on IG, basically Ronda Rousey literally tried to follow her on Twitter.
Yeah.
And Becky kind of retweeted it and put she tried.
Everybody knows that
Last Woman Standing match was the main event of the card, even though it wasn't.
Paige said it to Charlotte. She said you guys had like the best match, so you guys stole the show.
They did
because Paige told Charlotte that she wants her to lead the SmackDown Women's Survivor Series Championship.
Yeah,
and I really like what they're doing with Charlotte now because
now she feels like she's not worthy.
Yeah, like they push that's a clear indication. Like you're not in the title picture anymore. There's not going to be a rematch with Becky. Like you're going to just lead that, and you can see it on her face. Like it was good acting. She was I don't really know about this, but listen, the champion Becky Lynch was throwing straight hot fire jabs all at Ronda Rousey. Listen, Becky Lynch just straight up said what it is. She's like, listen, I'm coming to Survivor Series to rip your arm off. Drop the mic, held the belt up, crowd went wild.
That's gonna be a great match.
Becky. Oh my God,
Becky's very technical in the ring.
It's gonna be
and
they're
both they're both going for the same type of move. It's gonna be
awesome. The psychology that's gonna be awesome.
I think Becky could probably pull out Ronda's best match.
I hope
outside of Nia Jax.
I really hope there is no finish.
No finish.
No finish. It just ends. It ends with.
That'd be the
interference.
perfect reason for Charlotte to turn heel officially.
That would be. Yes.
The Four Horsewomen. Oh,
Something like that.
that'd
yeah.
be. Yeah, but I don't think they'll go the Four Horsewomen route because
it's too soon.
it's
Because
too soon with the Becky Charlotte.
Yeah, Becky and Charlotte.
It's too
It's
soon.
too soon.
But that'd be crazy.
I can see that after the new year. After the new year, because it's the new year, so whatever. But like right now, that's too soon to put those two together. But I hope it's a no finish. I don't want to see Becky lose. I do not want to see Becky tap out. I think it's too early. I don't think Ronda Rousey should tap out either. I think it should be no finish.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
a good
count
idea.
out. Maybe I'd rather interference. I'd rather
But
interference with somebody. Honestly.
I totally see them putting Ronda over. Just because she's Ronda Rousey and, you know, they try to book her as the strongest champ, the Brock Lesnar, the female Brock Lesnar of WWE.
But
So I believe my prediction will be Ronda goes over Charlotte. Over Becky.
Yeah. And then we have do we have a match next? Yes, we do have a match next. But while Shane was talking to Miz, Rey Mysterio, Jeff Hardy, and Randy Orton, he says in a Crown Jewel tournament, whoever loses to the Raw SmackDown guy in the last
that's
match
big.
is going to get fired from SmackDown. So you no longer have a home
So
at SmackDown.
pretty much, if SmackDown loses either Ray,
Who do you think is going to get fired?
Ray's not gonna get fired because
He just came back.
SmackDown. Yeah, he just came back, and SmackDown gravitates towards the Latino crowd. So Ray staying. I think it'd be either Orton or Miz.
I do not want the Miz to leave. I do not want the Miz to leave. I think it's going to be Jeff Hardy. I think it's going to be Jeff Hardy. I think it's going to be Jeff Hardy.
So you think Brother Nero's gonna finally come to Raw? Come back to Raw?
Whoa,
Brother Nero!
Do you think that he's gonna go on and hold the mantle of House Hardy and delete?
Brother Nero, won't you join us? Yeah.
You know what? I'll adjust my choice. I think it'll be either Jeff or Orton.
I think
Because they're still trying to build to Miz,
They need to
Brian,
continue,
I think.
They have a really cool
At
storyline with Randy Orton. I don't know why not continue this. They need to have this Randy Orton,
The vicious Randy Orton.
The vicious Randy Orton going after young competitors because he's worried that because he's the legend killer. Now they're gonna come take his spot. Now they should continue that. I don't know.
So,
with that.
just to smash it in one topic, who do you think is going to win that tournament?
Oh my!
My man, Bobby Lashley.
So
You
Kayfabe
think so?
Corbin says
Look
Bobby
like
Lashley.
money. He smell like money. That's because he is money. Mama.
I think is going to be.
Because he's another one.
I don't know, man. I don't know, man.
I'm going for Miz. I think Miz.
The Miz.
I think the Miz would take it, but then there'll be no firing on SmackDown. So I won't put my prediction on Miz. Miz is my. That's who I want to win.
He's gonna,
I think it'll
I
be.
think he's gonna intentionally lose round
I
one.
think it will be Lashley. I'll give it to Lashley. Lashley has the most steam going in, so I definitely give my choice to Lashley.
I'm going with the wild card, Rey Mysterio.
Rey Mysterio.
Oh, Rey Mysterio. Booyaka, booyaka, 619.
I mean, he's technically like the only like other race, right? Is he?
I would have replaced. I would have had Rey Mysterio and Andrade Cien Almas, The Miz, and maybe I probably.
Rusev Day.
Yeah, I'll definitely put Rusev there.
So, yeah, but
That's another story for
so how SmackDown end?
SmackDown ended with that.
I know it ended with the tag team match.
And it was the tag team match. It ended with it was Rey Mysterio and oh man, oh my gosh, it was
Rey Mysterio and Jeff Hardy versus Randy Orton and The Miz.
It is, yeah. It was a really fun match, a really dope match. At the end of the match, RKO's out of nowhere from everybody.
Yeah, I didn't get to see that at the end of the match.
Rey Mysterio came, jumped off, did like a springboard, boom, RKO, boom, he RKO'd Jeff Hardy. Miz got up, patted Randy Orton on the back, boom, RKO, and that's how SmackDown ended. I liked it. They spun, they kept stories going. They plugged Crown Jewel. That's the go home show for Crown Jewel, and yeah, so I thought it was a pretty good SmackDown. We don't do halves, but I would give SmackDown like a good 3.5, maybe.
I think I'll just give the whole weekend wrestling probably a good 4. It's been generally interesting the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, especially I'm really interested in seeing what's
So
going
I'll give it a good old hell yeah.
You know, and listen, there's so many things that we could talk about because there's a lot more things going on with Penta and just won some tag team belts in MLW. As much as we would love to, and the Super Junior tag teams in New Japan, as much as we would love to brag and talk and go on, we must bid you a farewell, goodbye, mwah, good night. Kenny, take us home.
Goodbye.